In this video, I want to talk about the process of buying a home privately. So there are different ways to buy a home, and one of the ways to buy a home in SA is to buy it privately, which means that you buy a home directly from the homeowner and not through an estate agent. There are some things you'd like to consider before you buy a home, and that's what I want to discuss in this video today. So if that's something you want to listen to and stick around for, please continue watching. Hi guys, my name is Nosi and thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it and really helps me out. And let's get into it. The first thing that you want to think about is to do a thorough inspection of the home. Most cases, when you buy a home from somebody, you'll buy the home as it is. So if there's any latent defects in the home, then it basically becomes your responsibility. What a latent defect means is that should there be an issue with the house, for example, a leaking roof or like a mold problem or something that could be wrong with the house, that becomes your responsibility once you buy that home. So you definitely want to make sure that you have someone who is accredited, someone who can do inspections, and someone who thoroughly inspects the home so that you know exactly what you're getting when you buy a home directly from a person. According to the footstewards clause, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, I don't know, but according to this clause, it means that you buy a home in the condition that it is. If you later find a problem with the house, then it is your problem, and that's how that clause is. And some homeowners, or like a person who's selling a home privately, can include this clause in the agreement, and when you sign it, you basically take on that responsibility because you signed the agreement, which means that if there was like maybe damp walls, a leak, like a pipe that's leaking, anything that's wrong with the house, then becomes your problem. So it's very important to make sure that you get someone to thoroughly inspect that home. Private sales are not subject to the Consumer Protection Act, so it's very important that if you want to buy a home directly from a person, you do your research. Something else you also want to consider is to research prices. So you want to see what's the market value of the homes in that area right now. So you want to make sure that whatever the person is quoting you for that home, it's in line with the other homes in that area, the kind of price, like the size of that area, the size of that home, and what other homes are going for, and especially homes that look similar to what you're considering to buy. So you want to do some research. It may be a good idea to speak to a practitioner, a property practitioner, to find out what they think is a good price for the home that you're looking for, and some things that they do daily, on a daily basis. Maybe they can help you out so that you make the right decision for yourself. So you also want to conduct a thorough home viewing. So when you're purchasing a home privately, you're basically purchasing it from when you last saw it. So if you can do different viewings at different times to see what the area is like, maybe on a Friday night, maybe do a drive-through to see, is it basically still the same area that you were thinking in your mind? Because remember, you don't have an agent, so you want to make sure that whatever you see from the house, that you cover all your bases and you make an informed decision. I know someone who bought a house, and when they went for a viewing from the house, there was like a veranda. So in this veranda, it's sort of like a sunroom type of veranda. They went in there and there was some table that was covering a certain portion of the home. And so when they went for the viewing, they couldn't see anything wrong. They just saw a table in the corner and then assumed that's how this veranda, this section of the home is like. It's just like a sunroof and it's nice. When they then bought the home, they noticed that there was a drain under the table. So what that means is that you've got a drain in the house, which is not something that they knew before. So these are some of the things that when you buy a house, when you're looking through a house, you just want to make sure that you get what you see, you move things around, you open cupboards, like you make sure that you get, like you do the thorough inspection. But if you do get an inspector to do like an inspection of the home, they'll be able to pick up these things and know what to look out for, and then inform you so that you can make an informed decision. So if you do go ahead and buy the home, then you know exactly what it is that you are signing up for. So when you do get your offer, then you probably want to take it to like an attorney or someone in the legal field who are able to then look at the contract and find out what exactly is it saying. You want to make sure, because you don't have an agent who basically makes sure that the buyer and the seller's needs are both met, this is all on you. So you're going to have to do the groundwork to make sure that whatever is in this agreement suits you and you're getting exactly what you are going to be paying for. You also, when you see like a problem with the house, you also have to then factor in that you probably will have to do renovations on that house and those type of things as well. Some elements to pay attention to when it comes to agreement of fittings, furniture and fittings. So you may go and view a home and think that, like their blinds for example, and think that the blinds are part of the home. But when you then get the house, you find out the person has taken away the blinds. So you want to make sure that in the agreement it specifically states what is part of the house and what's not part of the house, so that you get exactly what's in the agreement and nobody feels duped or conned from any agreement. So it's definitely a good idea to look at things like furniture and fittings. The other thing as well to look at is to think about is the 72-hour clause. This basically means that the seller can keep that house on the market for 72 hours. Should they get a better offer, then they're going to inform you that they got a better offer, and you basically have 72 hours to purchase that home. Otherwise they can go ahead and accept the better offer from somebody else. So you just have to think about that 72 hours. If you can't make right in that offer, if you make an offer to a house, you can't get it within the 72 hours, then it probably can fall through and you have to start the process all over again. Also make sure that you understand the conditions of the sale. Sometimes the sale can't go through until the conditions have been met. So you want to make sure that you know what are the conditions of the sale. Sometimes there's a time limit, there's a time condition, and you want to make sure that you are happy with the conditions of the sale. And whenever you sign something, that you've read it thoroughly, you've understood what it means. If there's like terminology that's very legal, then you consult a legal person, you consult an attorney, and then they'll be able to then advise you further on what to do. There's also dates that you have to pay attention to. For example, the expiry date of the offer. When does this offer expire? You also want to make sure you pay attention to the date of occupancy. You want to make sure the price is what you would have agreed upon, because you would have spoken about the price, agreed on the price, and then you make sure that the price that's in the agreement is what you guys have both agreed on. There's also occupational rent that you want to think about. For example, are you going to be living in this property up until the offer goes through and the sale has gone through? If that's the case, then what is the owner going to charge you and how much is it? And you just want to make sure that you have agreed upon these things so that there's no guessing or no assumptions, and that it's a smooth process for you, because remember, you're doing this alone. It's a private sale. There's no agent that's going to inform you this is the process, this is what we're doing, this is what the bank is saying. This is all on you, and it's going to be a little bit more work than it would have been had you gone through an estate agent or a property practitioner, as they're called now. You also want to make sure that you have a National Home Builders Registration Council certificate. This ensures that the home builder is registered and meets the necessary qualifications and quality assurance requirements. The seller may need to provide this if the home is a new development. Check the details of the agreement and the contract, because things like a misspelled word or incorrect ID number, those type of things can cause delays. So you want to make sure that the document is in good condition, that it is properly drawn out, that the wordings are correct, that there's no grammatical errors, there's no wrong names, incorrect ID numbers, those type of things that can prolong the process and just make the process go a little bit longer than it would have had those things been in order to begin with. And make sure that if there is a footsplits clause in the agreement, that you're aware of it, because this footsplits clause that's in the contract basically says that you're buying the house as it is, and any problems with the house, any latent defects that were in the property when you bought it is your responsibility, and you may not have recourse legally because you signed the contract. So you want to make sure that you are 100% aware of it if you're going to go through the route of buying a home from a private seller. The difference between buying a home from a private seller and an estate agent is that some estate agents have a clause called the defect disclosure, which means that someone who signs this, like a seller who signs this, is going to be less likely to be dishonest when it comes to saying that there's no problem with the house when they know that there's a problem because of this disclosure. So it gives you some kind of protection and some kind of recourse, you know, should you find yourself in this situation. Whereas if you're a private seller, it's all on you and you may not have legal recourse should you go that way. Another risk as well that you have to think about when you go through a private seller is that you could lose your money. Like, you could sell to someone who's not even the owner of the house, who doesn't even own that house. You've signed all these things, you've given your deposit, which you deposited directly into someone's bank account, and they just vanished with your money. So it's something that you have to be careful of and be sure, 100% sure somehow, that this person is who they say they are. They are the owners of the home and they've got right to sell this home, because you don't want to be in a situation where all your hard work earned money has been deposited into someone's account and they just run off with your money. Whereas if you buy from an estate agent or property practitioner, that money goes into their bank account, I believe, or an attorney's bank account, and it earns interest up until the sale goes through. So that's also something to think about. Should you go the estate agent route or should you go the private seller route? So there definitely are things to think about when you're going to buy a house from someone like a private seller, but and I hope that you do your research. This is just for information purposes only, and I hope that it has been informative. It's something that you want to consider, or it's just something that you also wanted to learn about, because when I was doing research as well, I wanted to know what's the difference between what does a private sale mean, and I just wanted to know more about that. It's a whole lot of work, a lot of research, and a lot of, like, you're basically on your own. So going that way or going through an estate agent, you definitely want to weigh the pros and cons. I would definitely want to use an estate agent for myself, just because they know the market, they know the research. This is what they do daily. They know way better than I do, and they're on both people's sides, you know. So yeah, but having said that, you definitely want to do your research. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.